Today, guys, we're going to look at direct and inverse variation. You may also see it as directly proportional and inversely proportional word problems. And whenever we look at our direct and inverse variations, we tend to have word problems because it's very useful in our everyday life. And we'll start out looking at the two equations. Our direct variation equation is y equals kx, where k is a constant and y and x are variables. You can remember k as a constant because constants start with a k. Inverse variation is y equals k over x, where k is a constant and y and x are variables. And again, we look at both of these as x goes up on the direct variation, or y would also have to go up, because as you increase a number that you multiply another number by, it would have to both increase. Versus the inverse variation as x increases or y decreases. And now we look at a picture on direct variations. If a and b varies directly, then as a goes up, then b goes up. And this would be very useful to write in your notes. And we'll look at our first example. If it takes 5 hours to paint 200 feet of fence, how long will it take to paint 500 feet of fence? Now, the first thing I would have to do is figure out, is this direct or indirect? And so I'm going to think, if I'm painting a fence, if the fence length is longer, would it take me more time or less time? And hopefully you came to the same conclusion that a longer fence would take me more time. So as x goes up, in this case we'll call x hours, my feet should go up too. So first thing I'm going to do is call x hours, and we'll call feet y. Now, as a person, I need to figure out how fast I can paint some fence. I know if I have 200 feet that I am painting for 5 hours, and so I need to figure out k, which will be the amount of fence I can paint in 1 hour. And so to do this is a very simple divide by 5 on both sides. This will give me 40k. Now, perhaps I'm not great at word problems, so I have y. We're going to look at this right here. We have y over x, and that equals our k. And so our y is feet, and our x is hours, or hour, because we're dividing by 5, and so that means we paint 40 feet per hour. And so now we can come back and we said, well, we know we have 500 feet, and that equals x. We're trying to figure out how long it will take us to paint it, and we know we are painting, let me write it this way, we know we're painting 40 feet per hour. How long would this take us? Well, now all we have to do is solve for x, which will be divide by 40 on both sides. We'll divide 500 by 40, and that will give me 25 over 2 hours, or to make it a little bit easier to understand, 12.5 hours. And so with a 500 feet of fence, it would take me 12.5 hours to paint it. And then we have inverse variation. If a and b varies inversely, then as a goes up, then b goes down. And we'll look at an example with this. And for this example, we'll look at Pam, who, if it takes Pam 40 minutes to back to her fishing spot at 9 miles per hour, how long would it take her if she rides 12 miles per hour? And as we think about this, we know that as Pam rides faster, her minutes should go down. And if we think about it a little bit more, we are going to want to divide our miles per hour into our miles, so we get just hour. So to make that easy on us, we're going to say x is miles per hour. So mph is miles per hour, and then my y will be hours. As we look at this, we now have to figure out what our k would be, and it would be the distance her fishing spot is away from Pam. All of this again should make sense. This should you should be able to draw a picture of it or visualize this very easily. If not, then something might be wrong. So we'll have y equals k over x. And so we have 40 minutes. I'm going to change that to hours. So that's 40 over 60. And I'll write it up here. We'll have 40 over 60 equals 2/3. So we have 2/3 hours equal our k over 9 hours, 9 miles per hour. Then we multiply both sides by 9. We're going to do 9 divided by 3 to begin with to get 3. 3 times 2 is 6. So my k is 6. And what is that? K would be miles. So again, this kind of makes sense. She's riding 6 miles at 9 miles per hour, so it only takes her 40 minutes. Now we can check if it takes her 12. And so again, we're looking for a time. Our y equals our k, which is 6, and then we're going to divide it by 12. And then we'll say we reduce it, y equals 1/2 or y equals 30 minutes, depending on how you want to say it.